Hello, and welcome to another Steel Division Divisional overview, and today we're taking a look at the Ryhmä Raappana Finnish Infantry Division. Really the kind of classic, ideal of how the Finns fought the Second World War, especially in the Winter War. Under-equipped, undergunned, but by God, they got some really cool guerrilla warfare tactics going on. And you really have to think a little bit outside of the box. Really, if you want to play, a Winter War experience, this is a division for you, because it's pretty cool. It's kind of tough to master in a sense, because you lack some very key things in terms of equipment. But you got really good infantry because they're Finns. So, let's jump into it. They are a C-tier division, and I think that's pretty right. They can be good in the right hands, but the things that they lack very much hurt. What doesn't hurt them, however, is this is one of the, I think, only divisions in game that has 55 activation points compared to the standard 50. So you can get a lot of dudes, and also considering you have a lot of one-slot activation point cards, you can really get a lot of dudes, which is good. You're definitely going to need those dudes. You don't get a lot of tanks, however, as you may notice. Only one card of tanks. Pretty lackluster. So let's jump into the Recon Tab. Now, before we get into the Recon Tab, I want to let you guys in a little secret. So, are you listening? Good. So really, the Recon Tab for this division is actually not a Recon Tab. It's just a second Infantry tab in disguise. And let me explain. All the Recon Infantry in this are really good, and most of them are essentially just full-on scrods with decent availability. But you do also have some vehicles such as useless motorbikes, and some not-so-useless armoured cars. Definitely, this is actually a pretty good unit in this division, because this is one of the 2 units that you can get that actually has an armour value. It gets pretty dire, and we're not even in the tank tab. So this is half of your armoured force right here. Almost. Yeah. In terms of infantry, it's awesome. You got 2-man sniper squads, each of them with a sniper rifle, so you can get not even just 360, but 720 no-scopes here, man. You're just gonna be shooting a lot of snipes. You got East Chaps, which are kind of like a close-range shock trooper squad with satchel charges. Do have the SVTs, which is pretty decent, and decent availability. And then a 9-man squad. And Recon. Not bad at all. I'm really bad at pronouncing stuff, if you may know from previous videos, so I apologise in advance for any enormous pronunciations, especially with language as complicated as Finnish. But we got the Raja Jakaris, which is essentially a regular rifle squad that somehow fumbled its way into the Recon tab. And they got really good availability. Of course you don't get veterancy, but not really a big deal for just a regular rifle squad. You don't really have to know how to fight that well to throw a Molotov cocktail. And Molotovs are pretty good. Same with sissies. Really awesome Finnish light infantry troops, all of that cool history. But unfortunately, in the English-speaking world, they have a rather unfortunate name. Pretty good, however. You got 5 boat actions, and you got a machine gun. Pardon me. You got a machine gun, smoke grenade, and then a sniper rifle. A very diverse loadout. The smoke grenades are good because you can disengage from fights. The sniper rifle is one of the only semi-automatic snipers in game, which means it shoots slightly faster, but has slightly worse accuracy. Not that big of a deal when you're 2-star veteran sheet. And this machine gun is a real oddity. I checked. This is the only machine gun in the game, light machine gun, infantry based. Yeah, it has 1 kilometer range. No other machine gun has yet. I don't know why. It's the same thing why the Finnish SMGs has 50-meter extra range over all the other SMGs, which make them infinitely better compared to everything else. But, yeah. I mean, it's good for this unit, of course, because the 1 kilometer sniper and 1 kilometer machine gun means you can dish out a lot of fire at long range. Also, they're raiders, so when they're behind enemy lines, they don't suffer any morale penalties, which is really good. I believe, yeah, it's only the sissies which have that raider thing, so playing these guys behind enemy lines is really what you want to be doing. Forest fights, all of that stuff, that's where they really thrive. And then the sissy Cavs, it's pretty much the same thing as the regular Cavs, but they got one extra dude with an extra submachine gun and a 2-star veterancy. And once again, like, pretty good availability for a 2 veterancy squad. Like, you can get a lot of recon units out because the tabs are cheap and you're only going to really be getting one armoured car, and you really should take this, you kind of need it. But you're going to be filling these out most of the time, and it's not bad. It's extra infantry essentially for free, which is not what you can say for a lot of recon tabs. I mean, some Soviet ones are pretty good, and some German ones as well, which is pretty much both of the factions in the game. But the Finns or the Ryhmä Raappana really knocks it out the park here with their recon infantry options. Regular infantry is also pretty damn good, and there's a lot of dudes with a lot of very silly names, so let's get through it. The Jakaris are still some of the best infantry in the game. You really want to spam as many as you can. I mean, best submachine gun, semi-automatic rifles, bloody Molotovs, and bloody anti-tank. I want to say rocket launchers, but kind of like a made thing. Let's just call it a Panzerfaust, because that's its actual name. Really good. You want to be taking these guys as much as you can, because they're just so bloody universal. They just work. Until maybe eventually they will get nerfed, I think. But who knows? Who knows? Kavaris are regular infantry. They're just pretty regular. Nothing really interesting about him. Good availability. Pretty much like a standard Strackley or Grenadier squad. And you got these guys, which have an awesome name. I definitely approve of the first 5 letters, that's for sure. Same thing as Kavaris, but they're disheartened. That's really it. But better availability. Nice. You got your anti-tank rifle squad that also acts as an engineer squad. Pretty damn good stuff. I mean, having a semi-automatic anti-tank cannon really in the infantry tab is a good pick. Can't go wrong with that. You got Pioneers, which I mean, it's a 9-man squad with boat actions. The saving grace is they got a lot of grenades. Really, just use them for the grenades. The boat actions aren't going to be doing all that much. The Radshivaki are pretty much another regular rifle squad, but with more dudes and a different machine gun. I don't think the machine gun is... Okay, the machine gun is quite a bit better in terms of accuracy, but the rate of fire is down, so... Yeah. One of them is probably statistically better than the other, but... Well, these guys are probably a better choice. That depends. I mean, they're 5 points more. Both of them are good choices, is what I'm trying to say. You got awesome fancy Stern Pioneers with 2 goddamn flamethrowers. Really scary stuff to run across these guys inside of a forest. And you got more Pioneer troops, but actually a little bit better this time because they got some SMGs and more satchel charges. So no anti-tank grenades, but kind of take the SMGs over satchels. Or anti-tank grenades, to be fair. And then in terms of leader units, because we've got quite a lot of leaders, they're all pretty alright. You got your regular smoke grenades dudes, you got like a pretty decent full-on rifle squad here. They're not the best availability. Panzerfaust, more smoke grenades, and then the sissy run, which is, I mean, it's cool because it's a sissy rifle, but you only get one of them. And really, with leaders, it's just about having numbers. You want to take as many leaders as you can. So usually, I kind of stick with taking the regular Pioneer ones, because I think smokes are kind of the best things you can take for leaders, because it allows you to keep the leaders alive, and also other dudes alive. Like, it's been many times where I've had a tank that's a leader unit, and I was like, oh my god, my tank's getting blown up. I risk for this to stop. And you throw smoke grenade, and then you might save your tank. But then cluster bombs come and kills the tank, and you're pretty sad. But yeah, you got a lot of options with the infantry, and they're all pretty damn good infantry. There's nothing like terrible in here. even just like the regular dudes aren't that bad because Finnish submachine guns have better range compared to other ones. And that's a pretty big deal because when you're shooting at 100, if you have a Finnish submachine gun squad with 150 meter range and a regular submachine gun with 100, first off, you're going to be able to engage before regular submachine guns hit you. And secondly, when you get within that 100 meters, pretty much the accuracy bonuses from being closer with the Finnish SMGs, I think makes them slightly better compared to the regular SMGs. So don't completely quote me on that. Tanks is it's gonna be a long one. We got T-26s. You get 9 of them. You got a little bit of veterancy. I don't know, Rifle Lover God, you'd want to bother taking them 2-star veterancy, but the options here, if you really want some, you know, top tier tank aces, man in a bloody light tank from the early 30s. Maybe late 20s, I forgot. But it's definitely a bit out of date by 1944. Support is you got like 50mm mortars, but they don't have the 4-man stuff. Like usually, all the other 50mm have been buffed to 4-man squads. So these guys are pretty bad now. You got disheartened machine gun and not disheartened machine gun. They're alright. Nothing really all that great. You got captured Soviet infantry gun, which is not a bad call. I mean, infantry guns are bloody fantastic in ST2. Can't really have enough of them. Regular supply trucks. And then you got your standard commander loadout. You get another unit of armor. Here we go. We're really packing the armor here with Ryhmä Raappana. Anti-tank is... yeah, it's not that good. I'll be honest with you here. So you got your awesome 2-man 20mm anti-tank rifle team, which can do quite a bit of work. I mean, you just stun up enemy light tanks. Oh, you should be killing enemy light tanks, but stunning up medium tanks and whatnot with just a sheer amount of firepower coming out of his rifle. And you got small Panzer Strike Squad, and then you got big Panzer Strike Squad. Big Panzer Strike Squad usually lasts a little bit longer when it gets spotted. And Panzer Strike Squads always get spotted. Apart from that, yo, you got captured Soviet 45mm. Yay. You got really bad 75mm anti-tank gun. I mean, you got like 19mm heat shells, and they actually do pretty good damage, but just, I mean, the accuracy should to tell you everything. You're going to be using regular AP, even then the accuracy is pretty meh, and you actually have worse penetration compared to the 45. You do more damage on penetration, but you know, kind of penetration is a big thing. You can use it for high explosive, and it's not bad as a high explosive gun. It's actually pretty decent as a high explosive gun, but we kind of want anti-tank. We need anti-tank, and our only other anti-tank option is a single card of Pack 38. You get them in A phase and at 2-star veterancy for 6 of them, which is really good availability. That's nice. But this is your best anti-tank gun in the entire division. Your best, like, highest armor penetration value you're going to be reaching is 150mm with an APCR shell. This is the best you got here for ground-based AT. We could be doing better. Anti-air is not bad. I mean, you got Maxims on back of trucks, you got 20mm on back of truck, and you got like 20mm, which honestly isn't bad. This is a pretty decent anti-aircraft piece. And then you got a Bofors. And can you really go wrong with Bofors? The answer is no. The streets know how to make an anti-aircraft gun. Artillery is not bad either. I mean, you got your leaders and your observers. Does anyone even use observers? I've never seen anyone really use observers. Just, maybe for Soviets, but especially for like German base divisions are useless. Or Finns, you know, Axis is what I should really say. Though people would argue Finns running the Axis. I'm not even going to get into that political thing. Anyway, we got old-fashioned howitzer. I mean, just look at it. Looks like it's been the First World War. But it's not bad for 55 points. And you got like decent-ish availability of 1-star veterancy. You got 81mm mortars, 120mm mortars. You got the classic German 105s, which are really solid artillery pieces. You got captured Russian 122s, which are also pretty damn good. Also can be used as a makeshift anti-tank gun, if need be. This is actually a better anti-tank gun than your other anti-tank gun options. It's a little bit expensive for what it is, doesn't have a lot of ammunition, the heat shells. But it's not bad. It's not a bad choice. You're missing out on getting the 155, which is arguably a better artillery piece because it actually has corrected shot bonuses, and corrected shot really improves your accuracy and aim time by quite a bit. So it's a bit of a toss-up between the two in terms of getting a heavy artillery piece. And then you also have an off-map. It's a crappy little slow British plane. We have 152mm off-map, so pretty meh. Airplanes this is really interesting. This is like the cork of air tabs. So you've got a little bit of everything, and everything's only 1 point, so you're going to be filling this all up. I mean, you are going to be using up all these slots. You have to. It's the law. Just letting you know that right now. In terms of recon planes, you got the DO-17, which does what it do, which is recon. You could just get the French MS-406, which is better, because it's faster. And you actually get more of them per card compared to the DO. And, I mean, yes, these guys are unvetted, but do you really need veterancy on a recon plane? Not really. Not really. The fighters is where it gets really cool, because it's just... it is hodgepodge. You got captured Soviet biplanes. They're not bad, actually. That's an okay armament for 40 points. Go a little bit slow, but good agility. You got a Fokker, like this is literally a Fokker. Also not bad. Slow, but by God, it has really good turn radius. And that's the thing of a lot of these airplanes. They're slow, but they usually have good turn radiuses. The MS-410 is not bad either. You know, okay as armament. The P-36 here, not too bad either as well. Another French plane, not bad. And then this is actually a Finnish built plane, which is also, like, they're not bad, they're not great, but they're all really cheap. So you can't really go wrong. I mean, you're going to be taking like 2-3 cards of fighters usually. So even though you may not have the technologically superior Focke-Wulfs or Spitfires, Hurricanes, other airplane names I'm trying to think of, yeah, a lot of them usually. So yeah, I mean they're more used as defensive fighters. You can't really chase, you have a little bit of a harder time chasing down like bombers and whatnot, especially if you didn't have them on the field when the bombers come in. But for dogfighting enemy fighters, you can't really go wrong with these chaps here. For bombers, well, you can either choose the Blenheim or the Ju-88. The Blenheims are, I think, a superior choice. Even though Ju-88 has a better survivability in the Blenheims and also have arguably better bomb loadouts, the Blenheims you just get a shit ton of. You can just Blenheim it. Blenheim this, Blenheim that, blow it all up. Not the best bomb loader, of course, but you know, it's not bad for 95 points and good availability. Like, again, 4 medium bombers and A phase. That's not bad. It's not bad at all. You know, of course, the defensive armament is a little bit lackluster. You got the Finnish plane with some bombs, which is eh. You already got Blenheims. And then Tank Busters is also really cool because you got the captured Russian biplanes, but with anti-tank rockets. Not a bad little anti-tank plane. You get 3 of them in A phase, which is really a good time to be bringing them out. And yeah, that's not bad for 70 points. And then you got the PE2, which is double the points. Not doubly better, but you know, you got a little bit of extra rockets. Actually got 10 rockets here, but the UI is going off the bloody screen, yeah. But yeah, like, these 2 planes are actually pretty vital, because you don't have a lot of ground-based AT. You want to be making good use of those rocket planes. So with that out of the way, let's take a look at a deck that I built earlier. And this is a deck that I have indeed built earlier. And let's take a quick gander through it. So this is a flatline income, which works rather well with this division. Because it's a slower infantry division, you'll kind of want to be steady throughout. And also, a lot of the stuff in this division is pretty cheap. There's not a whole lot of expensive units that you need to be buying. So just having 130 points to, you know, keep spamming out infantry at a constant rate, that's not bad. That's not bad. Recon, we take the armored cars, and then, you know, a little bit of everything here. Some sissies with satchel charges, and I like his sea phase card a lot because having 15 like extra rifle squads of Molotovs is nice. And they use these, you know, sissies early on, you know, get behind enemy lines, snipe stuff, do stuff, blow stuff up. And the snipers are very good for opening up, I find, at the start of the match, as you can maybe snipe off an enemy vehicle or two before they unload the infantry, and even then you can suppress infantry pretty fast when you have 2 sniper rifles. Infantry, so the main thing is I didn't take all Jakaris, so I didn't want the deck to be super boring, so I take A phase, B phase, and C phase cards because that works really well. For the rest of A phase, take the regular riflemen and the anti-tank dudes because they're pretty good at the start of the match, especially in the openers because you put them in the church tower and they just snipe everything that comes nearby, just like the armored. And then the A phase leader. B phase, of course, are more Jakaris, and then some flamethrower pioneers because by God, they're really good. And then C phase, we just got the Cavalry spam, and then extra leaders. Because we have no tank leaders, it's actually pretty important to get a lot of infantry leaders in this deck. And because it's, you know, cheap, you can just throw them all over, you get your commander up, get that command chain up and running, and you'll see a huge boost in your infantry's lethality. Especially considering a lot of these dudes are, you know, I take most of them unvetted, of course, whenever I can, because really unvetted infantry is the better call to take in SD2, because infantry, whether they're vetted or not, die pretty quickly, and it's really just a numbers game. Tank Tab was very hard for me to figure out how I wanted to build it, but I decided in the end to take the T26 with no veterancy. Not having the veterancy may hurt it in tank-on-tank battles, but I'm willing to take it. Yeah. Support, infantry gun, we got the leader dude, commander, I should say, and then I'm not taking an A-phase supply truck, because, I mean, it is nice to have A-phase supply truck, but if any of our vehicles break down, I don't really care. They're throwaway to begin with. They're probably not going to survive getting broken down, because they'll probably die because they're so lightly armoured. So we just have to be a little bit careful on A-phase with how we use our artillery, and we're going to have artillery, trust me. So yeah, we really just want as many supplies as we can get, and Ford was kind enough to lend us some trucks. Thank you, Ford. Anti-tank is a little bit of everything. We got more anti-tank rifle teams because I really like these anti-tank rifle teams. I mean, we got a lot of anti-tank rifles in this deck, but you definitely want them because you just want them, trust me. And we got 45 mils, we got packs, and we got more 45 mils. Not taking the 75s, even though they do act as good high explosive guns. I kind of just want as much AT as I can possibly fit out of this rather thin anti-tank tab. And then I take the 10-man Panzerschreck team because they survive better. Yes, they're a little bit more expensive, but you gotta realize they actually have the same stealth compared to the 2-man squad. So spending that 10 extra points for like 5 times the HP, big gains. Big gain in my book. Maybe a good idea when using them to actually turn off the bow action rifles so they don't get spotted as shooting a useless infantry unit with only 9 boat actions, which is not going to do any damage really to begin with. Anti-air is basic, where you take the 20 mils and then the 40 mils. Not a lot, but really it's... I find this usually be enough in terms of anti-air. Just as long as you're not like losing them left, right and centre. And if you're smart, you just relocate your anti-air every now and again, so don't get counter-battery. And even then, not a lot of people I notice tend to counter-battery artillery. Oh, and anti-air artillery. It's still a form of artillery, it's just kind of shooting upwards and the bullets don't really come down. Artillery is, we take 81mm mortars because they're really good. These just win you down fights. People, like, I risk more people just use like more of these medium mortars because they're so good in town fights. You just suppress all the infantry and then you just move up with your infantry and win. Like, they win you towns, and with your already good infantry, it's, you don't need them to win towns, but they make you win faster, and winning is good. That's what I try to do when I play the game. Cheap, you know, howitzers just cause, and they're not bad for like 55 points. Extra commanders, we're not using them to spot stuff, we're using them because we have no infantry leaders in B phase, and I mean, that means we have 16 leaders in total, which is like regular leaders, not including the commander, which is enough to get good coverage on the map and replace dudes who will inevitably die serving on the front lines. B phase, we've got the 105s, but then we also have 2 cards of the 122s. Now, how I'm using these 122s is not as artillery. That's a farce. They're just expensive anti-tank guns, because of how pathetic our anti-tank tab is. These guys are going to be serving on the front line as anti-tank guns. They're like an expensive Sis-3. And they're not bad. I mean, that's not a bad anti-tank gun if they do hit something. It's a little bit unorthodox, but you got good availability on them. So you might as well, and you really do need the anti-tank in this division. Especially on more open maps, you would just get buggered. And heck, even if they're not shooting at tanks, they can help win an infantry fight, because it's still like 122mm howitzer. Of course, it's not as accurate, and you're not using them in the classic raid like with these 155s. But that's what the 105s are for. This is more of a, this is what we're actually using as our proper artillery pieces. And airplanes is a little bit of everything. That's what the air tab is. We're blenheim spam in an A and B phase. We've got the 406s and A's, the P36s and B, and then the Finnish made planes in C. So we got a lot of fighters. Not the best fighters, of course, but for defensive fighting, they're good. And we got both of the rocket planes, because we also need an anti-tank, because anti-tank is very important in SC2, I find. So, overall, the pros of this division, it's pretty simple. Like with all infantry divisions, like they hit the 3 classic like points. They got good infantry, they got good artillery, and they got good air power. That's really the 3 like key focuses of this division, and also the recon as well. The recon deserves a shout out, but like I said, the recon is essentially just a second infantry tab. So the cons of this division should be extremely obvious. The first one is the lack of armor in total. And the second one is the lack of ground-based anti-tank. We're having to use our artillery guns to be our regular anti-tank guns. And you do pay a price in that in terms of buying them. Because usually, you know, like a dedicated anti-tank gun is cheaper than an artillery gun in terms of points. But that's not too bad. And at least those 122s that we have will keep us in the fight. But lack of armor is huge. It's a pain in the ass. Not just because you don't have anything really armored to do armored pushes with, but also because if your enemy is smart or has half a brain and they realize that they're fighting Ryhmä or Raappana, they know that, okay, I'm just gonna fight some T-26s and BA, like, you know, the Russian armored car, the BA 11 and 10, whatever. I don't need to buy anti-tank. I can invest all my money into just buying things that make high explosive kabooms. And so it's a pretty easy division to counter if you know what you're doing. You just buy a lot of high explosive kaboomy stuff. Screw anti-tank guns, screw any like heavy AT tanks. You just want things that make high explosive booms. Artillery spam, really. And that can really pigeonhole you with Ryhmä. And also lack of like good transports. This is a slow, steady infantry division. It has really good infantry and artillery and air power, like I said. But you're gonna have a hard time against any sort of armoured threat. It's gonna be tough. You're really gonna be good at using your Panzer Shreks and airplanes to knock out any pesky IS-2s. Like, good God, if you're up against an IS-2 in this division in an open field, I wish you the best of luck. So, all that out the way, let's actually see how this division performs in a match. And we are back on a 1v1 on Gora Kerala. I'm not going to try at this point. Anyway, we have Finzent down south playing as Raappana with Vanguard income. And up north, we have Zuzanat playing as Group Viborg with a balanced income. If we take a look at Finzent's deck, honestly, it's not that much different compared to mine. I mean, with this division, there's not a whole lot of options you can really diversify into. A bit more heavy in terms of recon infantry, artillery, a little lighter, taking the Gladiator and A-Phase for the off-map, a little bit heavier in terms of bombers, taking the J-88. Tanks is exactly the same, surprise, surprise. And the anti-tank is a little bit more focused on Panzer Shreks and whatnot compared to standard anti-tank guns, a lot heavier and anti-air. But it's still the same general concept of you're going to be spamming a bunch of infantry and the airplanes and artillery to keep you in the game. That's what you do with this division. And also with this division, a real key thing, like with a lot of kind of bad divisions in a sense, ones that have very limited playstarts is what I really mean. You gotta pick your maps and your battles wisely. A map like Slutsk or anything really open, don't pick this division. You're just gonna have a very bad time. But a map like this is a great map for Finzent to play on. Because it's choke point hell. I honestly think this is a really terribly designed map. I don't know what it is with Eugene and like having bridge choke point maps that just cover along the middle. It's really bad in Wargame. But it is good geographer for Finzent tactically because it's easy to cover bridge choke points and there's a lot of forest fights and whatnot to fight in on close range towns, which is really what you want to be doing. You've seen he is rushing across the bridge using good use of smoke and all of that, trying to get his dudes very close in. There's a bunch of flamethrower teams and they want to say hello and warm up these Finnish guys' hearts. It's and they're pretty good. As you can see, they're holding their own rather well. But Zanat has quite a bit of artillery, being that's not. That's a bloody mortar. I'm going crazy here. But the smoke here is really helping out Finzent, giving him that foothold onto the other side of the bridge, and over here as well. Great use of smoke. I mean, it's just really what you have to do on this map is to try to rush across the bridge as soon as possible. Because if you wait too long, all these choke points will just be heavily defended, and you're not going to have a good chance going across a bridge that's bloody hell. It's like 250, 240 meters long. That's a long drive. The problem here right now is we got a KV-1S. Fortunately, Takari's have Panzerfaust. If things get a wee bit closer, probably into this building for example, they might be able to blow it up. But that's not happening right now. Heck, even the Kavaris can kill it if they move up a bit. And anytime there's armor, you're really going to have to, mostly rely on infantry. A few anti-tank guns to really deal with it. I mean, right now we got an infantry support gun trying to kill his KV-1S. Barely even putting a scratch in it because it is a thick Soviet beast. But his KV is in a really nasty spot here. Because anything that goes across bridge will not make it across bridge. Because KV will make it not with 76mm gun. You're seeing more infantry being poured into the town and centre. And yeah, real good use of the 81mm here, like top tier work. Mortars, guys, use mortars. And this is where the bridge thing comes into play, because things are getting sniped. And this is where it gets even funnier. Because it's like a tight bridge and the corpses stay, now you gotta drive over all of these guys. And sometimes they can even block the bridge. You know, eventually, like, I do shove them over. You know, if cars, like, try to drive by, but it gets messy. And it's really not looking good for Finzent here, because he just lost, like, all his infantry reinforcements to a one anti-tank gun and a tank. Bad he can't bring in a tank of his own to deal with that. And so that's actually doing a very good job of starting off this, this push, so to speak. Bringing in all those reinforcements. And we even got the tele tank flamethrower coming in. Very interesting tank. I don't see a T-20 spot. With a flamethrower. I believe like, in the early 30s they tried to use him as remote control tanks, kind of like with the Goliath. Like, you know, dealing with in-place positions without risking people. I think it didn't really go anywhere though because 1930s remote control technology probably was not that great. Yeah, really good use of the smoke, blocking off the bridge. Blocking off line of sight for the KV. And then bringing in all the infantry. Finally killing the KV-1, yeah. And in this sort of fight, the Finns are better equipped, even just a regular rifle squad. The SMG's better. And, you know, compared to the Chernos, they're not disheartened. The KV-1, like, it's just destroying Finzent here. I mean, the best thing he's got a T-26 engagement right now. The best thing he can do is maybe bring up like a Pack 38 here. Which actually wouldn't be a bad idea. But even then, it would still have a bit of a tough time penetrating the KV-1. He doesn't really have any bunk anti-tank planes. Oh, no, he does have anti-tank planes in his division. He does have the A-Phase 1, so he can blow up the KV-1s with his planes of anti-tank, and he's used up all his tank reserves now to try and push into that bridgehead. Which is what you kind of do with the T-26s, and so you just kind of buy all of them at once, and you just, you know, use them in a horde, and that's your one shot. That's a very cheap. 9 T-26s is just over 100 points or so. There we go. Like, look at that. One bloody strafing run from the 153 kills the KV. I think what makes these planes good as like anti-tank planes is because they're slow. They got like a lot of time to line up on target. Get like pretty accurate shots on. We got some Churchills coming. A Churchill coming on. Now we got multiple Churchills actually. Once again, these things are going to be a pain in the butt. Fortunately, don't have any high explosive shells, but it's like more armor you have to deal with, and armored vehicles are kind of scary as Ryhmä Raappana. Great hand flank. Yeah, you know. It's going. Stuff is being shot at, but it's pretty slow. Like, speaking of slow, T-26 is trying to cross the bridge. There's one anti-tank gun, but he got sniped. 360 no-scoped, 720 no-scoped. My bad, 2 sniper rifles. Yeah, from Finzent. Bringing in infantry to reinforce. Hey look, his Churchill's going to come in, and a Churchill can pretty much kill those T-26s very easily. I'm just seeing the fighter plane being brought in, P-36. Trying to get behind this Hurricane. Having a little bit of a hard time here. And 153 coming in. Gonna get a side shot, yeah. And once again, like, really underrated planes. I mean, that's a 70-point anti-tank plane, or blew up a 55-point tank. All it has to do is kill one more tank, and it's already paid itself off. Which is not bad for such a cheap anti-tank plane, because usually they're quite expensive. Look at the PE2, that's 140 points, double the price for just 2 extra rockets and a bit of extra survivability. You got all the Finnish dudes being brought in. T-26 is maybe a little bit too bunched up here, but if they all die, it's not really that big of a deal. But it's still a very good bridgehead so far from Finzent. Like he's got, you know, a real good foothold on the other side, and as he kind of got safe passage now to cross the river, which is like the big thing here. And now, you know, he could start moving westwards, capture his point, and then he can actually get reinforcements across. So this is going well. This is going very well for Finzent. Now, like, look at all this forest area. This is beautiful. Even light forests are really great to fight in as a Finns, because your Finnish SMGs, 150 meter range. Guess what the range of these light forests is for line of sight? 150 meters, just about. It's a match made in heaven. Yeah, really it's all the action happening in the centre. But as you can see, it's just good infantry play. It's really winning, and airplanes as well. And artillery, it's the three big things like I mentioned. Yo, oh no, look at this. There's an IS-2. That's gonna be a pain in the ass to kill. It's really gonna come down to the rocket plane to knock out this bad boy. Churchill does go down here. I think a bloody T-26 actually killed it. It does have a chance to penetrate it at short range, but yeah, I'm quite surprised. Was that even a side shot? No, it's definitely a frontal penetration. Wait, hold up. Churchill's a weird looking tank. Nope, that was definitely frontal penetration, that's for sure. I hope that doesn't get misinterpreted. We've got the second bridgehead here being developed. As cavalries are pouring over. Yeah, Finnish infantry are really good. One of the, I say sort of a lot of these divisional overviews that it's Divisional's infantry tab is the best infantry tab, like with Hartnick or 78 for Lovas, which are all really good. But the Finns really do have it up here. They just have so much options. They're a little bit more specialised, and they don't maybe, you know, lack 13-man assault rifle squads or assault rifles in general. But even like your regular basic dudes are good. They hold up rather well. Now we got some anti-tank guns into this forest. The Pak-38 does have a chance of killing the IS-2. A slim chance frontally. Really want to maybe wait for it to get a side shot. But that's not going to happen. Because he exposed himself. And he's going to pay the price. And that is big high explosive shells. Now's a good time to back off. Maybe an anti-tank grenade can kill it. That's also a good way to kill an IS-2. Yeah, all the T-26s are now dead, as you can see from the flaming wreckages on the battlefield. And Finzent trying to make a westward push here with his infantry. If he can just knock out the flamethrowers, that would be good enough. I think that is off-map being called? Maybe? Yeah, that's definitely the off-map plane. I see getting these guys in like perfect position to be artilleried. But the flamethrower team holding strong. More strongly getting the flank on. I think Senat here really just it's just a numbers game. That's gonna be something Finzent's push. But still Trove. I mean that's not still Trove Finzent. Was actually losing for a majority of the match so far. But he does have the ground advantage. This flag over here was quickly snapped by Senat and over here as well. But this is, I mean, once you control this point here, it really gives you a lot more options compared to just holding these flanks. And like, good luck getting across that bridge. I mean, it doesn't even be too bad right now because there's only one support gun. But still, just in general, getting across that bridge and all this open ground from here to this very important forest is a pain. And Senat is just trying to contain Finzent at the moment. I mean, really, for Senat, he has time on his side because he has the balanced income. The same thing for Finzent, even though he does have a Vanguard deck, he still has quite a lot of, you know, it's a C-phase infantry, so he's not going to run out of that. And a lot of your cards are already mostly like B-phase focused. they find. So it's really just the income that's going to hurt him. And even then, you're playing Ryhmä or Raappana, everything's like pretty cheap. You're just going to be spamming infantry. A few anti-tank guns that he got. Yeah, just holding down the fort. 2-man sniper teams, just open ground. Nothing's going to get close to him. And the last T-26 that's alive, the lone survivor, he's going to run into an anti-tank grenade. And now there are no survivors. A little bit of a dogfight here between a P-56 and an L-87. Both of them, yeah, the Hawk does have the better agility here in his case. The veterancy helps out quite a bit. So in a turn fight, these slow, crappy planes win. But we got a Napalm Bomber. A pretty surprising thing to see. Not something to see all that often. He's gonna do it just to try to kill a sniper squad. Or is he gonna napalm the bridge? Oh, no. He's just coming back round. This sniper squad's almost out of ammo. He's just been picking off guys left, right, and centre. I mean, they got like 120 shots between both of them, so they better got bloody 120 kills. The Hawk trying to chase down, and the planes are slow. Like I said, trying to engage planes that are running array, not gonna work. That's right. Even with the other Finnish divisions, a lot of your planes, you're really just using them defensively. You're just going to be controlling over your airspace, and that's really your best time to really shoot anything down. Especially when you're using, you know, any NTA you have to help out. We've got rocket planes here, and look at that. 2 70-point rocket planes kill a 140-point tank. That pays itself off. That's pretty damn good. I'll get a little bit of lag here, I do apologise. We've finally got a big push here from Finzent taking right hand island really. And he's got some pretty scary infantry in here. He's got the Sissy leader squad, he's got the recon dudes, he's got satchel charge dudes. Pretty heavy duty stuff. Well, so that only has strokies really. This is just to try to finish infantry just come into play. We got some, we got Thermovikis coming in with the flamethrowers. So as you can see, the Ratchus are picking them off as they come across the bridge. And those Thermovikis, they're not nice to go up against. Just one satchel charge in them would pretty much knock him all out, all Molotov. And you got those in spades as the Finns. So many awesome high explosive grenade options. Oh no, leaders, don't lead that much from the front. That was suicidal. But yeah, they're going to get knocked out, and that's going to be a flag for Finzent. And as we can see, if the IS-2 dead and the right flank covered, the turns have definitely tabled. This is also when Finzent is at an eco disadvantage, especially if it's the C phase where it gets quite large at a 60-point disadvantage. But the foothold in the centre is working out. Could use some more infantry because some strokies are moving in, but the mortars over here is going to be securing this centre left-hand field. And with this like area under control, this is pretty. Like, this area is easy to control. I mean, he's probably not going to get over here, so it's a little bit too far. A bridge too far, you could say. I'm sorry I keep making that joke, it's too easy. I just really like the movie. Blenheim's a Blenheim in it. You got good air power spam through the Finns. 95-point medium bombers, which you can get, like, 10 of. Not bad, because you take the A phase card and then the B phase card. It gives you 10. It's bombing at Oh, he's bombing the infantry. Thought he was going to bomb the town, yeah. Bombs were deceptive, to say the least. But because the Blenheim's so slow here, the LA7's having a hard time keeping behind him. Finzent doesn't have any anti-air at the moment, so I mean, definitely going to be a little bit risky during a 2-on-1 fight here. You know, he's actually drawing these LA7's array so he can bring up these, you know, 153s, real tank killers here to blow up a single T-34. Even then, just a single T-30, you know, any tank really with Ryhmä, you want dead. You don't want him having free range, you want him to get blown up. That's exactly what he's doing. And, yep, T-34 delays, and that's going to be a lot of territory extra for Finzent. The right-hand flank is pretty much evaporated now. Yeah, it's not really looking good for Sanat. The whole center is just pretty much buckled. Fortunately for him, and unfortunately for Finzent, it's like it is kind of hard to exploit on major breakthroughs because you have to slowly foot slog up it. And you have no armor to support you on said breakthrough, which is kind of an important part of, you know, pushing hard and fast is having tanks. So you do have to wait for the infantry, usually unsupported, to move up. And in open field areas, that's hard. That can be a challenge and a half. So really you just have to, you know, grab onto the easily defended areas and just hold. Hold until relieved, all of that. But by God, you can hold well. You can hold really well. You can throw infantry in forest for days and harass the enemy behind lines and bomb the crap out of them from the air, which is always a good idea. All these guys coming in on the flank here. We have T-34s, barely have line of sight on the bridge, but just enough, yo. Once again, I don't know why Eugene likes goddamn bridge maps. They're terrible. They're not fun. The game needs less choke points, not more of them. We've got a bunch of ultimate cheekies being brought in. I'll spread them out a bit. Planners once again got to be making it out. Weapons jamming the IO2, or the anti-air ROS. Something ROS. IO2's not shooting anymore. It's not a big deal because it's a bomber plane, mostly. We got some T-34s over here, unsupported. They're going to be behind enemy lines. Maybe the Finns will stick a log in their tracks or something. I think that's what they like doing. A whole name for it. Devise a whole strategy about sticking logs in tanks. I don't blame him. I mean, if it would work, it would work. At least the Pack 38 can, you know, kill just regular T-34s. They can do that. When you get to, like, these numbers of T-34s here, things get a little bit scary. Because even though they're, you know, they're trivial tanks, you only have so many anti-tank guns and so many anti-tank planes. Unfortunately, you know, Zanat doesn't have a lot of infantry backing him up. The T-34s can't really see the Finns, which are hidden. Kills one tank at least and scares the other. There we go, Sermaviki's moving up, T-34's backing them up. Yeah, just one anti-tank gun here would really help out, but you don't really get that many, especially with Finzent. He only has 2 anti-tank guns in his deck. He does have the Soviet 122s, which are really anti-tank guns for this division, but unfortunately he's not really using them. It definitely would help out in the center, especially early against IS-2. That could actually reliably kill an IS-2. The right hand flank is now firmly under his control. He's got a real good grip on the center of the map here. Well, you may have to blow up tanks with anti-tank weaponry, but by God, you can drop a lot of bombs on them, especially when all grouped up. Venom's nice and cheap for dropping bombs, and one tank goes down, and an infantry unit bites to dust. And the LA7s, like they should be able to shoot down one of these Blenheims. But they're just too fast. I've been noticing a lot in replays where slow planes have a really good survivability, as long as they're not there's not like a crap ton of anti-air on the field. Because fast planes, I mean, they're good at disengaging and catching up to stuff, but they have a hell of a hard time shooting something that's a little bit slow. Yeah, I think it's pretty safe to assume that Finzent has safely secured a match, and I mean, there's nothing really too crazy he did. It's just the classic infantry artillery airplane triangle that you do with pretty much the majority of infantry style divisions. But Raappana, in their limited way of doing it, does it really well. You got, really good infantry airplanes and artillery, just no tanks, no armor, no real anti-tank. You just have to work around it. But as you can see by, using infantry to blow up tanks, and lots of air power to keep tanks at bay, you can make do with not having much anti-tank. You just have to be smart about it. And don't play it, I cannot stress this enough, do not play this division on a map that has a lot of open ground. You're just gonna lose. On a map like this with choke points and like a lot of forests and towns, you can do well, but no Sluchsk. Don't play in Sluchsk. But it's a fun division. I really like this division because it's classic Winter War. When I think of Finland being added in the game, it's exactly what comes to mind. Lots of infantry, weird, hodgepodge equipment, but they get the job done with their specialized tactics and all of that. And it's just Finzent slowly, just railing away. Nothing super aggressive. I mean, just kind of got the 50-yard line, or a little bit more on a 50-yard line, I should say. But he's not doing any major breakthroughs. Just, nice, slow, steady. Try to make a nice, even line. It's hard to do in Steel Division because the front line is very fluid. And there we go. That is a good game. And in terms of kills, 1,000 kill advantage there for Finzent, which is pretty standard. In terms of kills for the Soviets, nothing too crazy. Churchill knocked out pretty much half of the armoured units. IS-2 did a little bit. Yeah, nothing crazy. I mean, most of it's just killing infantry because that's the only target set that you can offer as Raappana. It's mainly just infantry. Losses, however, really kills for the Finns, I should say. Pretty spread out. Snipers did pretty well. All gun. Nothing super crazy, of course. Or maybe it's Latty that killed a bunch of infantry units before they unloaded. That's not bad. But considering a lot of it's just infantry, regular stuff, no crazy super heavy tanks or super units, so to speak. That's to be expected. Everyone did their part for Finland. But yeah, that's Raappana. Very standard. Just not very standard, but it's an infantry division. The Finnish infantry division. They do what Finnish infantry divisions think you should do. That you think they would do. Yes. But anyway, let's just finish this video off. So, this has been another Steel Division Divisional overview. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And as usual, please just take it easy.